Made in Hollywood.
The post-apocalyptic series Fallout, starring Walton Goggins and Aaron Moten, is made in Hollywood.
The season begins on this post-apocalyptic road trip across the Mojave Desert heading to New Vegas.
Made in Hollywood.
Also on today's show, director Ryan Coogler's Southern Gothic epic Sinners stars Michael B. Jordan.
As a kid, your imagination, whether you're pretending you got superpowers or pretending this or whatever, the idea of like, man, if I had a twin, what would I do or how would that be?
Plus, the romantic comedy Merv stars Zooey Deschanel and Charlie Cox. The stand-up comedy drama Is This Thing On stars Will Arnett and Laura Dern. And the psychological action thriller Turbulence features Kelsey Grammer. This week on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Now available on your home screen. In the explosive new season of the post-apocalyptic series Fallout, starring Walton Goggins and Aaron Moten, sheltered survivors venture into the Mojave wasteland and the strange, perilous world of New Vegas.
I've seen a lot of things.
Many a tear have to fall.
Crazy things.
But it's all
Unnatural things. But good people? No.
That girl I met.
Our show takes place only a few weeks after the events of season 1, but that's 15 years after the events of the game Fallout New Vegas.
I would be a good person too if I grew up in some cozy little impenetrable home. I have to steal and stab and fib all the goddamn time just to get by.
The season begins on this post-apocalyptic road trip across the Mojave Desert heading to New Vegas. He's traveling with Lucy. He's able to see her as a human being for the first time, and she has a different point of view than mine. And one of them will win out. Either she'll become more like me, or I'll become more like her.
soon he'll be there at your side. With a sweet
Norm was on reserve. Yeah, every day is very similar in the vaults. He, is intelligent, perceptive, and hasn't been put to the test. Following the path to Vault 31, yes, it put him in a predicament, but if he can survive, this is essentially what he's been yearning for.
I know there's a war coming. The bombs will only be the beginning.
The practical use of that suit, it's the heaviest thing you can imagine. It's like having a 13-year-old hanging on your shoulders, and then we say, now act. As challenging as it is, it becomes a physical manifestation, I think, of what Maximus is going through, that feeling of being kind of trapped in something. It is challenging, but it's also, it parts the seas of crowds when I walk on set, and there's something that, having the practical element there, it really does do something for all of us involved working on it.
We're imagining little, I could see a future where we would just wear one pieces to make it easy. We're responding to sets in the vaults that are identical to the video game.
Gonna bring him to justice. So people know that how they conduct themselves matters, and they don't give up hope.
I've been invited to sit at the table and to collaborate with, shows and movies for a long time now. So I get that extension, that courtesy, if you will, and so we do have those conversations and what that means. What could it mean? It's through Cooper Howard that you experience the world before the bombs dropped. The Ghoul is unique in this world in that all the other factions want to have the world look like they want it to look. The Ghoul just wants nothing from the world. He just wants to find his family.
You want to know why the world ended? It started here with one man.
It's all over.
We set up the first season in a way to where the second season can grow so much more. It becomes so much more vast in the world of Fallout, and I think people are gonna really be excited about it.
We pour a great deal of attention into trying to make sure that we are being faithful to the games. There's thousands and thousands of decisions that go into making a show, so I was just glad that the fans felt like we saw that we were paying attention and trying our best to make sure that we were honoring a world that we really love.
Michael B. Jordan stars in director Ryan Coogler's Southern Gothic epic Sinners as twin brothers must confront vampires, hoodoo, and buried trauma when supernatural forces descend on their new juke joint.
We've been gone a long time. We back now.
You twins?
Nah, we cousins.
It started with my relationship with my Uncle James, who was born in Mississippi, lived there till he was 20, and then moved to Oakland and married my great aunt, Sammy Lee, who the character Sammy's named after. And it was important for me to explore blues music and Mississippi and the Delta blues and juke joint culture, because it was something that was so important to my uncle. It's kind of passed down to me. I wanted to do a deep dive on why that music was so important, really to global popular culture. But I also wanted to infuse it with, everything in cinema that I love that I hadn't had a chance to do yet.
One day he's gonna follow you home. We got us a problem, y'all. What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
There's been versions of twins that have been done. I remember as a kid watching movies like The Parent Trap. And just as a kid, your imagination, whether you're pretending you got superpowers or pretending this or whatever, the idea of man, if I had a twin, what would I do or how would that be? Because Smoke and Stack are the same, they're the same, but they're completely different. They make up one person. And having Smoke and how he handles his childhood trauma, was really important. And Stack and how he handles his childhood trauma, they have the same experiences, but they have two different perspectives on it.
I don't believe in magic. Ghosts, demons, just power.
Somebody please take. Those are some of the things that, that I tapped into to kind of help make them a bit different. And and just the storytelling, the other characters around Smoke and Stack that allowed me to play off of, with Annie and Mary and those dynamics and, just a rich world that was created to, for these characters to blend into.
The biggest thing was freedom, This idea of it, how elusive it can be. Sometimes it can't be bought. That was the central concept of freedom and these people under such great oppression, and having to be able to affirm that humanity in a place and a time when it was very difficult.
Come on, open the door, let on out of here. Stay. It's you?
Of course it's me. Open the door.
That ain't your brother.
Coming up, the romantic comedy Merv, starring Zooey Deschanel and Charlie Cox, and the stand-up comedy drama Is This Thing On, featuring Will Arnett and Laura Dern. To find out where to watch any movie, check out Moviephone.com. Find it, watch it.
Gus is so well trained that he can do anything on command that he's trained to do.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
Now available on your home screen. Zooey Deschanel and Charlie Cox star as exes who go on an awkward co-parenting vacation to revive their dog Spirit, leading to reignited sparks between them in the romantic comedy Merv.
Okay, Merv, I have something to tell you. The thing is, me and Russ broke up. You're gonna be okay.
I really love the concept. I thought it was so sweet. And then I got to talk to this amazing person here, Jess. We got along so well, and I, wanted to do the movie. And then working with Gus and Charlie was just an absolute dream. What incredible actors. Very different styles. Gus works for sausages.
And Charlie works for hamburgers.
Charlie works for hamburgers, yeah.
Dogs are very sensitive to anything that throws their routine, like a breakup.
You think Merv is depressed because we broke up?
Gus is a dream, as Zoe said. He's very, very professional. Gus is so well trained that he can do anything on command that he's trained to do. But because he's so well trained, one thing he's not particularly good at is being very enthusiastic.
The great thing about having Gus on set was that he is always a pro and he's always ready. And actually, over the course of the weeks that we were shooting, the more you got to know him, we were able to go, oh, that's how we recognise that he's really sad. He's really good at, he drops his eyeline, he puts his head down, or he tilts to one side. And so I think we had a more dramatic performance as the weeks went on.
You had a Gus glossary.
Yeah.
Of all the Gus expressions.
Oh, no. What are you doing here? You've turned up dressed like some weird lady spy.
We both know he's happiest when we're all hanging out together.
You don't know that.
It's just a week. How hard can it be?
One of the things I found really charming about the script was this idea that Gus seems to intuit early on. He knows what they don't about each other and about their relationship. And it's really the kind of the journey of their discovery that they are perfect for each other. That life is difficult, life throws curveballs at you, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the person, your significant other, is the wrong person for you.
Do you always go on vacation with your ex?
We're kind of doing this cheer-up trip.
Zoe, in my estimation, is the GOAT of rom-coms in this genre, so to work with her was like an absolute treat and dream.
Did you say the goat?
Yeah.
The goat?
Greatest of all time.
I thought you meant like a goat.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
You knew what I meant, right?
I'm a goat.
Merv wants to communicate. This could be a window into his trauma.
What's he saying?
Hello, everybody. Oh, Merv's a Victorian street urchin.
A man turns to stand-up comedy to find purpose amid a looming divorce as he and his wife navigate co-parenting and evolving love. And the comedy drama is This Thing On, starring Will Arnett and Laura Dern.
Another one?
Yeah, one up.
All right, Alex Novak, downstairs in 2 minutes.
That's me.
Well, you better head down there then.
Where?
Just straight behind you, down the stairs.
I became aware of John Bishop's story, the great comedian John Bishop. I had a chance to meet him, and he told me the story of how he became a stand-up and what it did for him in his life. At that point of his life, he was going through a divorce, and he had no connection to stand-up, and how going up and speaking in front of audiences transformed him as a person and really helped reshape his relationship with his soon-to-be ex-wife. I think I'm getting a divorce. What tipped me off was that I'm living in an apartment on my own. Yeah. Talked about it with Mark Chappell, my writing partner. He and I started writing it. We got to a place where we were kind of at a fork in the road. Bradley stepped in and said, I think the movie should go here. And so he started writing it with us. He said, I think that Laura would maybe do this. And she jumped in and started informing me. So it was just like, you see those videos of people like building a barn and like everybody comes and helps out. It was kind of like that. It was like one guy, I was like, hey, I think we need a barn. And somebody's like, yeah, I'm gonna help you do it. And this person comes in like, the roof needs to be a little bit better. And then and that's how we did it. Came home from work one day. Someone said, is this thing over? Pretty sure it was her. Probably should have paid attention. That's what she meant about not paying attention.
Well, first, when I read it, it reminded me of building a barn. And I had never seen an attempt at capturing what it feels like to fight for a relationship, long for a relationship, without the writers manipulating language as if we people know what the hell we're feeling or how to talk about it.
What I like about you is you're so innocent. You're not naive, you're innocent.
You are good. I mean, you're bad at stand-up, but you're good. You have a good heart.
They captured it so beautifully. They allowed us as characters simultaneously with the audience to not know how we got here, not know what happened before, not know who we are in context anymore to the marriage, and have to find our way toward ourselves to figure out if there is a marriage to save. That felt so real, unfortunately, so incredibly relatable and profound.
Man, I wish I had a punchline.
To find out where to watch any movie, check out MoviePhone.com. Find it, watch it. Up next, the psychological action thriller Turbulence, featuring Kelsey Grammer.
It's a classic exercise to say, okay, let's take an action and make everybody sit in a box and see what happens.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
A couple's romantic hot air balloon retreat turns deadly when a mysterious passenger with a vendetta hijacks the ride, leading to a tense battle high above the ground in the psychological thriller Turbulence, featuring Kelsey Grammer.
My wife is on her way over from LA. It's our belated honeymoon.
Here's to you.
Welcome aboard. I guess it might just be us.
Hi.
It's a classic exercise to say, okay, let's take an action and make everybody sit in a box and see what happens. And so it's a perfect overlay on what's an emotional situation anyway. And because of the cramped space, emotions tend to get a little higher, a little quicker, a little more frenzied. There's a sense of claustrophobia about it. So it's a good device. You're sitting there going with, one person's a liar, one person's an absolute scoundrel, one guy's a complete innocent, and the other's just a nice person who got taken for a bit of a ride and innocent. And it's cool to see how that plays out.
So you don't remember me? Really? What are you talking about?
What the hell are you doing?
You're not getting away with this.
Mayday, mayday.
I liked my character being deranged and a little crazy. I just liked that she had that grain inside her, and it was interesting. I wanted to explore that and play with the craziness of someone who has kind of lost it because of the grief. And, there are situations in life that drive us. They make us do things that we would never do under normal circumstances. And so she's gone there. She went for it. And it was just interesting to play with it. First it's, she wants the money, or like, is she a hooker, or is she like, who is she? And nothing kind of makes sense. I don't think anyone could guess what exactly it was about in the beginning.
We're getting too high.
This is wind current.
Honestly, the whole thing was shot in a basket. We did one thing outside, like the very first scene where I'd say, oh, hi, here's somebody else coming. And then they sort of just hoisted the basket up with a crane, I think. So I said something like, here we go. And I did, hit the juice.
We have to get to that rope.
We were in the studio the whole time on the blue screen. With that said, I'm very happy about that, because would Claudio told me, Olga, this movie is actually filming on a real air balloon, my answer would have been, no, thank you.
Stay tuned, there's more coming up on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching Made in Hollywood, powered by MoviePhone. For more behind-the-screen content, check out MoviePhone.com.